This week is different. We have to get our guys fresh for Thursday. This is the best football team we've played. These guys play hard. They play hard. You watch the tape, these guys, they play with passion, they play with a chip. They're explosive, they're really good with the ball in their hand. We have to be fresh, we have to be healthy, and we have to be fundamentally sound.
Welcome back to Arizona Sports at Night. I'm Kellan Olson. I'm asking everyone listening, including Mitch Vareldzis, a couple of things. Mitch, do you have your snack and your drink with you?
I have my drink.
Where's your permission slip? Was it signed? Where is it?
I have a legal pad.
Okay, here. Everyone listening, do you have your permission slip with you? We're going to go on a little bit of a field trip right now, and I need you to stick with me, okay? That was Kenny Dillingham, and that was not just Kenny Dillingham gassing up a team because he's playing them. Texas State is a really good football team, and you teased it there going in. I would say not only is this the best college football game of the week, and I think it's going to be a shootout that everyone should watch tomorrow night. We're going to have it on ESPN 6:20 a.m. at 4:30 tomorrow, by the way. We're going to be talking about it at the end of our show. The end of the game is going to be happening as we're on the air.
Lots of ASU talk.
This is a legitimate test for ASU, but I'm going to go further than that in defining it as the biggest game of the year for Arizona State. And I think for Texas State, here's the background. They've been a football program in FBS since 2015. They've only had 2 seasons above 500 across that time. Last year under G.J. Kinney, they were 8-5 in his first year. They won a bowl game. They were favored by 2.5 points last week against UTSA, who was their rival. They were winless against since joining the FBS. They beat them 49-10, and it is now to the point where Texas State, by many college football experts, is being hyped up as perhaps the best team or the team with the best chance to make the college football playoff outside of the 4 major conferences. So if you were like me, a rather novice college football person coming into the year, looked at Texas State on the schedule last week and kind of went, okay, that's the trap game. Just make sure to get to that before you get to Texas Tech.
Right.
This is the best team they've played. I think it's not even close. I know that Mississippi State is in the SEC, but we're going to go through a number of reasons here right now why you need to be taking Texas State seriously, 1, and 2, watch this game because it's going to be awesome. We have 3 big football games here in the Valley. Can I throw Arizona into the Valley for once, everyone? Okay.
Is it emotionally acceptable for me? No. Is it logistically acceptable? It's fine. You can include them.
In the state, we have 3 big football games, a ranked matchup between Arizona and Kansas State. We have the Cardinals and the Rams. That's a game that is huge for the Cardinals, but I think this is the marquee matchup of the 3. And again, I just don't think that it's close. This is going to be an absolute shootout, and it's going to be must watch, and we're going to go through a few reasons why, like I said.
See, I cannot believe that you are backing the Arizona State game as the game of the week, maybe the year for their season. I think it's Arizona and Kansas State is the one of the week, right? Not just because on paper it's 2 top 20 teams, but I'm more curious as to who is the real University of Arizona team. I won't expound on it too long because we're focusing on ASU here, but they did not look good in their first 2 weeks, and I'm very curious to see if the talent that was able to remain after Jed Fish left can back everything that Brent Brennan is trying to build at that club. So I'm just fascinated that you find the ASU-Texas State matchup a little more enticing and a little more valuable this weekend.
Well, that's where I start to become a nerd. I am a nerd always and forever. It's not like I decide, like, I'm a nerd all of a sudden. I look at this matchup and all the dynamics to it, both statistically and with personnel, and I start to get really excited with everything. We know Sam Leavitt. We know the inexperience there with him. Texas State is led by a guy named Jordan McLeod, and if you are a somewhat experienced or been around a bit and been a college football fan here in the state, you might remember that name. He was at Arizona for 2 years. I say we because I paid tuition at the school. I can say we. It's okay.
It counts.
You can say we as well at Arizona State, Mitch. It's okay. That Gunnar Cruz, Will Plummer year where we didn't really have a guy at quarterback. Jordan McLeod was randomly that guy.
Is that Kevin Sumlin?
Jordan McLeod is a 7th-year senior, comparatively speaking to Will Leavitt and his lack of experience there. Jordan McLeod turns 25 in November. He is a month younger than Trevor Lawrence, Mitch. Wow. Trevor Lawrence is in his 4th NFL season, and Jordan McLeod is basically the same age as him. So he redshirts at South Florida, spends 2 years there, comes to U of A for 2 years through the portal. Then he goes to James Madison last year where he wins Sun Belt Player of the Year, 11-2 record. He had 43 total touchdowns, and then he transfers yet again, goes to his 4th school, and he lands here with the Texas State team that is ready, as we have foretold you, that is ready for a big jump this year. This is a team that is only allowed, I had to double check this, 2 sacks in 2 games.
Wow.
So they are letting their experienced and really, really good quarterback, who is just the player of the year in their conference, sling it. He's had 4 different receivers catch a ball that went at least 34 yards this year. So it's not just 1 or 2 receivers. They have guys they like, don't get me wrong, but he's slinging that thing to multiple different guys. And the other part of this that's fascinating to me, and where this becomes the Sam Levitt game for a million different reasons. One of them we just went over. Here's another. Their rushing defense in these 2 games they've had. They played Lamar. They gave up 29 carries for 51 yards. And then against UTSA, they gave up 30 carries for 82 yards. Those are not good numbers. We know this team rides through Cam Scadaboo. Are they going to be able to do it against this team? And if they're not, is Sam Levitt up to the test? This is a team, Texas State, Arizona State is going on the road for the first time this year. Texas State was 5-1 at home last year. They're a really good home team. I'm excited for this game. Can you tell? I'm excited.
Well, I mean, you got me hyped up, that's for sure. But now you've also got me concerned, because the one thing that has struggled a lot this year for Arizona State is the passing attack. We're very well aware of that. And the one thing that has been very successful for Arizona State this year is the semi-one-man wrecking crew that is Cam Scadaboo. I don't want to discount anyone else in that running back room.
And their line, doing the job for him,
exactly.
sure. But he had someone touch him like within a second, and then you just brush him off because he's Cam Scadaboo.
He just runs everybody over. He breaks every tackle that's known to man. And it's funny because Cam Scadaboo actually has familiarity with G.J. Kinney, because Kinney was the head coach at Incarnate Word back when Cam Scadaboo was at Sacramento State. So this is somebody that Cam is very familiar with when it comes to a defensive mindset as far as how they're going to approach this matchup. And I'm sure Cam is looking for every opportunity to back up what was it, 260-plus yard rushing performance. It's going to be very hard to back up. But knowing Cam Scadaboo, I'm sure he's itching to get at least another 100-yard performance under his belt.
There's some fun layers here, too. G.J. Kinney actually played against Sacramento State at his old stop. He's a guy who bounced around a couple of assistant jobs, both in college and in the NFL, and then wound up at some random school last year for the last 2 years, because it looks like, to me at least, just reading through the resume, he just wanted to be a head coach and get there. And
right.
Guess what? This guy's going to be in a Power 4 conference next year, probably coaching at a pretty prestigious program, I'm guessing. Which
if the
is
team's good enough, they can
here.
certainly find their way in. We know how much money is spent on college programs nowadays to get them into these big conferences.
The fun story there, and this is via Jordan Ham over there, Kinney recruited Cam Scadaboo when he entered the portal. He said, I was probably the first guy to call him when we found out he was going to the portal before ASU. He comes to ASU, of course, and now he winds up there. But Dillingham had a lot more to say on Texas State, right? And just the
so he was with
here.
Bickley and Murata this morning, and Dillingham is not selling this matchup short by any means. He is emphasizing that his team, not Texas State, is the underdog on Thursday.
The reality was we opened as a 1.5-point dog in this football game. They're the trap game, not us. We're the underdog. We're the team that people still think are going to lose. We're the team that was still picked last. We're the team that, played such a bad second half. We're lucky we got off to such a hard start, right? It had nothing to do with us, right? We're still the underdog in this football game.
Even when as far as to say that this will feel like a playoff game for Texas State.
So for us, this is a great opportunity to continue to prove people wrong and prove us, more importantly, right. Prove that we're the team we think we can be. And it's versus a really good team. There was something that came out the other day that had this team that we're about to play, Texas State, in the playoff, that had them as the number 1 group of 4 team in college football and had them going to the playoff. So if I'm Texas State, this is my game that I have to win, and every other game I'm favored. And if I win out after I beat Arizona State, I'm in the playoff. This is a playoff game for them, and we better treat it like it.
To Dilly's point, if they are going to be the one outside of the FBS to crack this playoff 12, this is probably the most notable game on Texas State's schedule, right? Because after this, everybody goes into conference play, and Arizona State is a Big 12 team that's off to a 2-0 start. They're on the road. And Texas State has everything to prove if they want to get the attention of the College Football Playoff Committee.
I'll go as far as saying the winner of this game is ranked, and I don't care which team it is.
Ranked?
I think that either team becomes ranked if they win, including Texas State. I really think it'll go that far.
Like
just
a
with
Northern Illinois beats Notre Dame kind of scenario?
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to jump to 18 in the poll, but they're either going to be right on the precipice of being ranked or in that 23-25 range. One more thing on Texas State before we go to break. Lincoln Pear was their leading rusher against UT UTSA.
What a fun name.
11 carries for 109 yards and a touchdown, and he is not the running back to worry about. They got another one named Ishmael Mahdi. He went for 28 for 156 and a touchdown against Lamar. He was one of 2 players in the country last year to have 2,000 or more yards from scrimmage. 2,000! You heard me. At 1331 on the ground, another 275 in receiving yards, and then 563 as the kickoff man as well. He was a serious weapon for them. That's before going to their quarterback, of course. This is a team to really take seriously. And again, I know you roll your eyes maybe, or you hear Texas State on the radio, and you hear it and you read about them and aren't very familiar. This is going to be a legit game. It's going to be an awesome game. Both these teams, Mitch, they've only punted 5 times in 2 games, both teams. So 10 punts combined between the 2 teams in 2 games. It's going to be a shootout. I can't wait to watch it.
It's going to be a fun offensive showing in the mind of Kel.